Okay, so what is going on? Richard Hamilton. I am Nabil from NBA Rabu, Malaysia. We're part of Astro Arena, so I just want to say it's an honor to be interviewing you here. And I heard you're in the Philippines right now.
hmm
So you just arrived in the morning. How is it in the Philippines?
First of all, I'm happy to be here. I've been here. I came 10 years ago to open up the first NBA store uh,
Oh,
here in the country. So, long flight yesterday, 15 hours and 50 minutes to be exact. Uh, still,
oh my
still got a little jet lag right now, but
God.
the accommodations was awesome. It was great. Just
Uh-huh.
happy to be here in Manila. The fans here was greeting me with a lot of love when I first got off the plane, and it just
Uh-huh.
shows you how big the lead in basketball is here in the Philippines.
It's huge there. It's huge there. I hope one day you can come to Malaysia.
Yeah, once you invite me, I'll come on down.
Woo! Let's do it. Let's do it. So, anyways, I'm a big fan of the 04 Detroit Pistons. I mean, I've I love how you guys played defense. I love the grit, and I love the starting five. I love the whole team, and I was bought into the whole culture, Detroit Pistons culture. So, I think let's just cut to the chase. You've won NCAA before. You've won also the NBA championship. You've won with UConn. You've won with Detroit Pistons. So, what's the difference between the NCAA championship run, UConn championship run, and also the Detroit Pistons championship run?
Oh, Nab. I mean, first of all, I was lucky and blessed to win an NCAA championship and an NBA
Uh-huh.
championship. Both of them are very, very difficult to do. I think the biggest difference is when I won an NCAA national championship with the University of Connecticut, uh, I did it with a group of guys that was, college teammates. We were just kids. We were just trying to figure out this new game called life, after we left our parents' home. And once we won, it was a big time celebration. It was big for the state of Connecticut. It was Calhoun's first. But when I walked into the NBA locker room, when I got drafted to the Washington Wizards, the one thing that I found out very quickly is guys in the league do not respect NCAA championships,
Oh,
which,
why is that?
which was crazy because they felt as though that the best players in the world was in the NBA. So
Uh-huh.
there's not a lot of guys in the league that won it. But it was one of them things was once I won an NBA championship, the world respected. Every guy, every Hall of Famer, any guy that ever picked up a basketball all across the world, you have to respect the NBA championship because it's looked at as some of the best talent in the world who you're competing against each and every night. So
Mm-hmm.
that was their debate was like, hey man, you played in college. I wasn't in college at the time. At the time, like Kobe Bryant was a good friend of mine. He went straight to the NBA. Kobe always said, hey man, if I came to if I went to college, you would have never won one. But so it was a big time back and forth thing when going at it and determine which one was better.
Uh-huh. So, which one? Okay, I cannot make you choose. I cannot make you choose. But okay, so let's dive in deeper because I think we're here to talk about the NBA. So, I see. I'm a big fan of the Miami Heat as well and their culture. So, do you see any similarities in terms of defense between today's Miami Heat and your 04 Detroit Pistons?
Well, the one thing you got to take your hats off is to Pat Riley. I mean, he built something great down in Miami, which he did that in LA when he was a coach for the Lakers. But
Uh-huh.
the Heat culture is for real. And the Heat culture has been around way before Coach Eric Spoelstra was the head coach there. Even
Yes,
though
sir.
even though I think that Eric Spoelstra is the best coach in the NBA right now. What
Ooh,
he was able to do with that team last year, having all the injuries out, and still being able to make a huge huge run in the playoffs,
crazy.
you have to tip your hat to that.
Yeah,
But
yes.
the thing that I love about them, like you alluded to, was their foundation. Their foundation is defense and is grit, and that's what we were about in Detroit. Because, like I said, the way the game is and how the rules has changed, people want to watch the game and see the game 120, 130 points a night. It's more exciting. But when you got a team that's just going to come in there and just going to turn off the faucet and say, ain't nobody scoring today, that gives your team the kind of, like, in my opinion, the best chances to win, because there's so many elite offensive players in our game, and it's hard to stop each and everybody. But when you got 15 guys on your team that's buying into the defense, and especially in the playoffs. I mean, the regular season is cool, it's fun. Everybody wants to be entertained, let's say. But once the playoffs start, man, it's all about winning basketball and winning culture.
What was the so from what I know, this is what the Denver Nuggets players said in the post game interview after the championship. They said the Miami Heat, they would adjust defense more than most teams in the whole season in one single quarter or in even a single possession. Do you guys do that back in those days?
Yeah, I always say the great coaches can adjust as the game's going on, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's a
Mm-hmm.
lot of coaches out there that'll look at a piece of paper and just go off analytics and say, oh, you know what, this guy got to come in at this time. We got to run this play at this time. We shoot 75% from the right side. We got to get more shots from there. But I just think, though, like the great coaches, like the Eric Spoelsers in our game, they're able to make adjustments on the fly, because everybody has a game plan at the beginning of the game, right? And sometimes that game plan don't work. So when you have the ability to kind of switch concepts and take different things away that you didn't do in the first quarter, did in the second quarter or in the fourth quarter, that just lets you know you got a good person at the head.
So almost every quarter, is everything predetermined, or was it on the fly? Was all the coverages with all the adjustments?
Yeah, I mean, it's all pretty much in the scouting report. A couple days before the game, like I always like, you'll see guys first get in the league, right? Just a prime example, right?
Mm-hmm.
You'll see rookies or guys that just come out of nowhere, right, and have a huge impact in our game their first year, right? Like just have an outstanding first year in our league, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then the second year they struggle a little bit, and everybody scratches their head and say why? Because the reason is because they're not in a scouting report. We got great scouts. We got guys that in this league that really do a great job of dissecting players. And you go into a game, you might say, all right, you know what? We're playing against the Miami Heat, right? And Dwayne Wade is the guy, right? And we got to take away Dwayne, and we got to take away, let's say Shaquille O'Neal, right? That's the game plan going in. And then you might have a young Norris Cole coming off the bench, right? We don't know Norris Cole because Norris Cole's a rookie first year in the league. Yes. And our whole concept is to stop them two guys. Norris might come out and kill us. And everybody like, oh, Norris is great. He killed Detroit Pistons that game. But by next season, we put him in a scout report. We say, oh, you know what? We remember that he had a great game that game. So a lot to what you said, a lot of this stuff is predetermined on how to, limit guys' touches, take away some of the stuff that they want to get to. But sometimes you got to make an adjustment. Like I can remember playing against Miami, and we wanted Dwayne Wade to shoot jump shots, right?
Yes.
But what happens when he comes out and makes his first 7 out of 8? They keep giving him jump shots. You got to make an adjustment. So I think at times you got to make adjustments in the game.
Okay. So what was I'm not sure if you know this, but you guys hold teams under 70 points 13 times in the regular season back in 2004 and 4 times in the playoffs. So what was the secret to holding teams under 70 points? I mean, any specific coverage, if you don't mind sharing?
Oh, man, that was a great time.
I mean, that's crazy, man. And I saw another stat. If you guys score 70 points first, you'll almost definitely win the game.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. Especially if you look at the game now, right? Because there's teams, some games can come out and score 60 points in a quarter. Like I seen one time it was like 80 points at the halftime. And I'm like, man, we held to, like what you said, teams under 70 points for numerous games. But it was an exciting feeling. I can remember when we played against, I think it was the New Jersey Nets or it was the Boston Celtics, because that was the team that broke the streak. Yes. And I remember we were up by like 30. And once they scored over 70, you could like the whole team was jumping up and down, clapping hands, celebrating. And we were like, you guys are down 30 and you're celebrating because you're
Yeah, man. Oh my God. I mean, that was the intensity that you guys brought, man. Like, oh my
yeah,
God.
yeah. But it's a mentality though. It's really a mentality. We love that. We love going into other arenas,
Mhm.
and taking over their arena for the night. That's what we always said. Okay, we come to play whoever, we're gonna come in and take over that arena.
Okay. I do have another question. Is the mid-range game a lost start in today's game?
Uh,
The mid-range.
yeah, I would have to say it's a lost art.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I wish more guys would shoot it and take advantage of that because, again, now analytics is taking over our game, right? So
Mm-hmm.
everybody wants to fall in love with the three-point shot, but everybody can't shoot it like Steph Curry or like
Mm-hmm.
Klay Thompson.
Uh-huh.
And I always said that in order to be a great offensive player in our game, you have to have a great mid-range shot. It's the toughest thing to guard. It's hard. I mean, when you're a great mid-range shooter, it sets you up for as a better three-point shooter. It sets you up for a better way to attack the rim because now guys are off balance and they don't know what you're going to do.
Yeah.
Uh, like Michael Jordan once told me, practicing with him in Washington, he said, "Rip, add that to your game. This is the hardest move to guard in the game of
Yeah.
basketball." And I always tell that to kids. I said, when Michael Jeffrey Jordan, yeah, I threw his middle name in there too,
Uh-huh.
is that this is the hardest move to guard. Why don't we add this to our game? Right? Why don't you add that to your game? When you look at all the greats, Steph Curry got a great mid-range jump shot.
Yeah.
Devin Booker, great mid-range jump shot.
Kawhi.
Kawhi Leonard,
Yeah.
great mid-range. DeMar DeRozan,
Yes.
Bill, like Kobe Bryant was great at it. Carmelo, and like if you look at the great offensive players, they all had that wrinkle in their game.
Correct. And D-Wade also said that maybe you're the toughest guy he's ever guarded because I know you move a lot and also you had those nails, you know? Oh, so last question. Alsa Thompson brought out the infamous face mask during a game. I mean, yeah, I think this season. So thoughts on his ceiling in the NBA?
Oh man, Sorry Thompson, man, I love him. You know what? I've been knowing him since he was in seventh, eighth grade, right?
Mm-hmm.
Him and my son went to the same school. So
Mm-hmm.
I've been seeing him and his twin brother play since they were 14, 15 years old, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think his ceiling is high. I think, in my opinion, he's going to be an NBA All-Star. I think he'll be a top five defensive player in the league. I think he's a potential defensive player of the year, and has the potential to one day be an All NBA guy. I mean,
Oh,
he's outstanding. I mean, like nobody expected him to come into the season and start for the Pistons, but he did. And the thing that I love most about him, he's a gym rat, right? He doesn't get caught up on all the other stuff that most kids get caught up. Being a young kid coming into the NBA with millions of dollars, he's a guy that gets it done. He puts his Timberland boots on, puts his hard hat on, and he comes to work. And that's been our motto in Detroit for years. So I believe that he has the potential to be an NBA All-Star.
do you see any similarities between you and Alsa, or do you see anybody in the NBA right now that reminds me of yourself? It reminds you of yourself.
Well, there's a lot of great guys and a lot of great talents in the league.
Mm-hmm.
I was a guy that ran off 1,000 screens,
Screens, yeah.
like the Energizer Bunny running off curls, else like that. But when
Mm-hmm.
you look at guys that do that and they do it at a high level, you got to look at Steph Curry, that I love watching because he's hard to guard, right? He does something different than any other point guard in the league. That's what separates him.
Yeah.
Klay Thompson, I love watching him being able to do what he's been able to do, coming off pin downs, coming off curls,
Mm-hmm.
and things like that. So if I say two guys that I watch a lot that I'm really love just watching them come off pin downs, they'll probably be the two guys.
Or maybe even Kevin Herter,
Say it again.
Kevin Herter from Sacramento
Oh
Kings.
yeah. No, he's playing
Yeah.
really well too, coming off
Yep,
pin
yep,
downs.
yep.
Yep.
Okay, so I'm sorry, but we gotta wrap this up. I would love to you know, I would love for this to be longer, but I'm afraid this is how we got. Thank you so much for doing this. It's an honor, and I hope you have a good time in the Philippines.